I am here to answer your immigration questions. So I want you to go ahead and drop your questions in the comment box. Now I have exciting news for you today. So the Biden administration, as you know, there was a backlog of individuals who were in line for green cards and some temporary visas because during the Trump era, the Trump administration implemented a ban on basically a huge part of the immigration process. So green card holders who are sponsoring relatives could not get them in. There were certain exceptions, and the exceptions were related to immediate relatives of U.S. citizens, but everybody else had to sit and wait. That is expected to change because he has now lifted that ban. So during Trump's administration, he had said that green card, they put a ban on green cards, right? Except for certain immediate relatives of U.S. citizens, such as spouse and children. Everybody else was put on hold. And so that is where there was a backlog, and where some individuals said that their case has completely been shut down. That was the reason. And now Biden has lifted that. Now, are you going to see an immediate change? Not necessarily, because there is a backlog now, which means that they have to catch up on all the lost immigrant visas and temporary visas from last year. So they have to go back and catch up on all of those delayed visas before even moving forward. So we're not going to see immediate relief, but it's good news because at some point your case will be going forward if you have if you fell within that category. So I wanted to share that great news with you. But and thank you, Monat Jermaine. Thank you for sharing my live. I really appreciate that. So Lil Star Rush, I see you on here. I think it was you had questions and I didn't get to answer your questions. So please go ahead and drop your questions so it doesn't get lost in the fray. And I am Hennessy Boss. It's nice to see you. Good night. Casevedo. My husband was injured at his job. His job doesn't want to pay the medical bills. Will that be a problem in Juarez? Not necessarily. I don't know what the circumstances are. So it seems like they denied the payment of his medical bills. And he probably will be responsible for it. Due to the new public charge rule, they are asking for your debts, and a part of the debts could be your medical bills, and they're probably going to want to know why. There's a possibility they could ask, why that the medical bills have accumulated. So, without knowing the full picture, I would not be able to give you a direct answer, but to say that it may. And so you want to, if you would like to get legal advice and talk to me a little bit more in detail, let's talk in a consultation. Give me a call at 561-405-4889. You can also go to my website, and the link is in the bio. If you go there, you can see my number. It's all over the website. It's at the top of the page, at the bottom of the page, and on the contact us page. There's also a web form where you can provide. We would be able to. Would be able to provide you. We would be able to contact you. So let's see. Okay. So Maxine Couch. I was in a J1 visa, now on a visitor's visa. My boyfriend has a green card. Would that be an issue? So if you were on the J1, the first thing I'll want to know is if you have that 2-year foreign residency requirement. And if that's the case, if that applies to you, then yes, it may be a problem, because what if you have that 2-year foreign residency requirement, it basically requires you to stay outside of the United States for 2 years. I mean, you could travel temporarily, of course, as you said, you're on a visitor's visa, but you would not be able to get the green card until you have lived in outside of the United States for 2 years. So it's very important. The first thing you have to determine is whether you have that 2-year foreign residency requirement, and if you do, if it does apply, you'll have to apply for a waiver in order to move forward with the green card process. So William Butler 121, can you still get green card if you've got probation 30 years ago? No, it depends. It really depends on the facts here. When it comes to criminal issues, it's very fact intensive. It depends on what the issue was, and what the facts were in the case, and what the law in the state says on the case. So what you can do is give me a call at 561-405-4889. You'll get my receptionist who will schedule a consultation with me, and then when I can hear the facts of your situation, I can give you specific advice. So yeah. Nikki Ramu, how long is visa processing take? So it depends on what kind of visa you are talking about. The green card depends on what kind, who you are, what your status is, what your family status is. If you're going through family, if it's employment, it depends on what kind. So if you can let me know which type, I can answer your question more specifically. I am Hennessy Boss. Need help applying for, I think that's a fiancé visa. Sure, that is definitely what I do, and you can give me a call at 561-405-4889 and schedule a consultation, and we can talk about all the things you need to know about qualifying for the fiancé visa and move forward, get started. If you didn't catch my number, you can go to the link in my bio, and it will leave you the phone number to contact me. Hi, Nikki Ramu. So keep the questions coming. I would love to answer your questions. That's why I'm here, is to answer your questions. So Nikki Ramu, I am sponsoring my husband from Guyana to the USA. So if you are a green card holder and you're sponsoring your spouse, then it's taking about 2 years, about 2 years. Right now is a good time to file for him as a green card holder, because there's no wait list for the immigrant visa number. And that means that once the I-130 is approved, you will go straight through to the embassy, and they will schedule the interview. So if you are a U.S. citizen, I can safely say it's taking about 18 months to 24 months. It could be less, could be more, especially with the new administration in. I am noticing that some things are moving a little faster. So, but I usually tell my clients to prepare for a process that's going to be 18 to 24 months. Maxine Couch, you're welcome. So Maxine Couch, even if we get married, yes, so that is the thing with the J1. If you have that foreign residency requirement, even if you get married to a U.S. citizen, you have to apply for a waiver first. I'm in Jamaica. I'm from Jamaica. Am I eligible to apply for my own green card, and how long it usually takes without marriage? It depends. So you do have types of green cards where you can petition yourself. For example, the extraordinary ability green card. So usually that means you're at the top of your field in certain subject areas, or certain fields like science, the arts, athletics, business. So if you feel like you're at the top of your field, you're at the top of your career, you've gained a name for yourself internationally or nationally, then you can go ahead and see if you qualify for this type of visa. They require specific documentary evidence to support the basis that you are at the top of your field, that you have extraordinary ability. So that is one way. There's also the exceptional ability green card, which is similar in that you in this case you would have to have an employer lined up, but the employer doesn't have to sponsor you. And it's usually in arts, business, and science that you have to have the exceptional ability. So and you have to show that the United States is going to substantially benefit from your work, and that you're going to come here and continue your work. So if you feel like you fall into that category, you can definitely schedule a consultation with me and I can discuss more. There are other types of visas that you can apply on your own, but it's not a green card. So keep the questions coming. I would love to get your questions, answer your questions. That is why I'm here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I work at ST Law Office. You're welcome, Aliyah. So I work at ST Law Office. If you want to learn more about the firm, about me, you can go to the link in my bio and it will lead you to my website. Chloe Brown 032, good night. Where in Florida are you located? So I'm in Boca Raton, Florida. I also meet my clients in Fort Lauderdale. That's downtown Fort Lauderdale, a little further south, in between Palm Beach County and Miami. But keep in mind, I represent clients all over the country. As an immigration attorney, I'm authorized to do that. Little Star Rush, I sent my questions about 10 times. I don't know why it's not coming across. I don't know. It's very strange. I don't see it, Little Star Rush. I'm seeing what you typed there, but I'm not seeing where you asked that question multiple times. So I don't know. I don't know if there's some sort of feature on here that blocks some questions. If you want, Little Star Rush, try to hit that comments box in the down below with all the icons with that question mark in there. See if you can put your question in there and see if it works. Nikki Ramu, I sponsored my husband from Guyana, but we have almost 4-year-old. Can the kid come with his dad? Yes. Yeah. So if you're a green card holder, now here's it. If you are a green card holder, yes, the 4-year-old can go along with his dad. If you're a U.S. citizen, then you have to file the documentation separately. So you'd have to file for your spouse and then file for your 4-year-old as well. I am Hennessy Boss 17. How long does the fiance take? So right now, I can safely say it's taking about 18 months to 2 years as well. So it is, some people ask, do I do the fiance visa or do I just do the marriage based? And it's a hard question to answer because the fiance visa is just as delayed as the marriage based. So sometimes it's more straightforward to just get married and do a one process, or instead of doing the fiance visa and then applying for the green card after marriage. You are welcome, Nikki Ramon. So keep the questions coming. I would love to see your questions. Tricia Williams, if I apply for a work permit, can I attend nursing school? So the work permit doesn't necessarily allow you to go to school. Now, One thing is I don't know the requirements of nursing. I don't know what they require from you, but generally, if you have the funds to enroll yourself in school, you can do that. Now, the work permit does not necessarily allow you to get, for example, financial aid or loans or anything like that. But you could check the requirements, of the school. Because you may not necessarily need a work permit to go to school, but I don't know what the requirements of your the nursing program is. They may require, some sort of evidence of your status, especially when it comes on to the state, applying for state license, but I really don't know the exact requirements. Classical, my petition aged out and I got married. Well, it depends on what's going on with what the circumstances are. If you got married, if you fall into a category where you had to be unmarried, then that's going to just take you out and you'd have to qualify for the green card in some other way. You're welcome, Tricia Williams. I am Hennessy Boss. I'm from Sundin. Okay, that's good to know. So keep the questions coming. I really enjoy answering your questions, and that's the main reason I'm here, is to answer your immigration related questions. I was sharing the good news before that there was a ban on issuing green cards to those who are outside of the United States. And that ban has been lifted by Biden. It was lifted yesterday, and so we will now start to see the green card process moving again at the embassies abroad. But keep in mind, you may not see immediate results just because there's a backlog of 120,000 immigrants who were delayed because of this. Can a spouse of a LPR have working permit while awaiting approval of I-130? It depends. If your spouse has a legal status, then they could very well qualify for a work permit. However, if they do not have, if they're undocumented, then that is a whole other story, and it's not likely because if the spouse of the LPR is undocumented, then they don't even qualify to apply within the United States. They'll have to apply for a waiver. If it's approved, they can take that approved waiver and go to their home country to complete the green card process. They can stay in the United States and wait for the waiver approval, but it doesn't provide any benefits like you can apply for a work permit while you're waiting for the approval on the waiver. So it gets a little want to get legal advice for sure. So you can give me a call at 561-405-4889, and then we can go from there. You can the receptionist will put you on my schedule, and then we can meet and talk about it. So Little Star Rush, if the spouse refuses. So now I'm seeing a piece of your question. So, if the spouse refuses, I think I'm going to try to guess what that question is. So it depends. If your spouse refuses to apply for your green card and you're outside of the United States, then there's very little that can be done. However, if you are in the United States and your spouse refuses, then I would want to talk to you more about why that spouse is refusing, because in some cases you can move forward with applying on your own if that spouse is refusing and mistreating you at the same time. So it all depends. I see Boss 17, what are the requirements for the fiancé visa? So it has to be a U.S. citizen sponsoring the fiancé. And of course, you have to go through the process of showing that the relationship is real. But that's the basic requirement. The most basic one is only U.S. citizens can apply for their fiancé. What is the cost for consultations? So the cost of my consultation is $150, and that is for up to an hour to sit down and discuss your situation, answer your questions, and advise you. So you would leave with answers, you would leave with a plan or knowing where you stand, and you may leave with me as your attorney as well, if necessary. So keep the questions coming. I really enjoy answering your questions and engaging with you. So go ahead. I know if you're welcome, Tricia. I know if you're going through the process, you have some nagging immigration questions, and it can be really small, or it can be something more complicated. And even knowing, okay, this is more complicated, you're gonna need help is helpful. So that's why I'm here, is to kind of answer your questions and help to provide you some general information that will keep you informed. And okay, so I'm from Suriname. Would you be able to guide us through the process with the fiancé visa? Of course. So I represent clients all over the country, and with fiancés all over the country. So it doesn't make a difference to me where you're from. I can definitely help you. So you can give me a call, and the first thing we'll do is do a consultation first. And then I can, all being well, I can represent you through the process. So I'm going to put my number in the comments. So my number is 561-405-4889, and it's going to be in the comments under the immigration attorney. You can write that number down and then call me to discuss your case or your matter, or what you're concerned about, or where you need help. So keep those questions coming. So for the I-130, I think you're still, if you're asking about the spouse's refusal to file the I-130, then yes, so I would still need to figure out the circumstances behind that, and I'd have to figure out the circumstances before I can answer that question. So Lil Sarosh, to get a copy of the decision. Okay, so I don't know if you have a denial going on, but give me a call and let us talk directly. Where you have denials, then I would definitely want to see what's going on to be able to advise properly. So keep those questions coming. I am here to answer your immigration questions. Okay, I'm looking forward to hearing from you, Lil Sarosh. And I'm sorry that we're having connection problems. So go ahead and keep those questions coming. That's why I'm here. It's your opportunity to ask your immigration questions. Now, I'm U.S. immigration attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I help clients to get their green card as well as their work permit. So why so long? Right. So there has been a backlog, Nilan, on N400s, and it's just because of the way that the system has been designed during the Trump administration. Unfortunately. So hopefully with a little time, they're going to clear the backlog, and we'll see faster processing times for citizenship. But it basically has been a design of the Trump administration to make these processes slow and backlogged and just completely hostile for immigrants. But that is changing. As you can see, there's a new law before Congress that is waiting for approval or decision. There is there have been changes. Biden has lifted some of the very restrictive and oppressive immigration policies that were created during Trump's administration. So I am optimistic. Unfortunately, I'm sorry you are experiencing that though. Hi Simone, it's nice to see you. Stacy Sexy 8, thanks for sharing my live. So keep those questions coming. I am here every day, so I try to come on at least once a day. Sometimes you'll see me twice a day, but I come on every day. So go ahead and if you're tuning in but you don't have a question now, then you could see me tomorrow, the day after, and you can ask your questions. So I am always going to be showing up to answer your immigration questions. So I don't see any more questions, and I am pretty much done with my update. So if I missed your question, just please forgive me. Sometimes it tends to be delayed and I don't see some questions. So what you can do is hang on to it. If you're not following me, you can go ahead and follow me. And then when you see me go live, you can hop on and ask your questions and I will start answering them. But that is all I have tonight. So, and I don't see any more questions. So thank you all for tuning in. Just remember to go ahead and follow me so that you can get get notices of videos, or you can also ask your questions. All right, have a good night, everyone. Bye. Oh, okay, we have one here. So baby girl, Lakshmi, if you have a visa, can they still get a green card? So it depends. If you have a visa, it depends on what type of visa it is. So you can definitely change from having having visa to having a green card. So that is possible if you have a visa, but it depends on how you go about it, whether you qualify for it. Yes, so Rand Hava, go ahead and ask the question right there. That's perfect. I see your question. So Stacy Sexy 8, I'm a US citizen. All right. Baby girl Lakshmi, and they have a kid that was born in New York. So the child alone. Okay, so Stacy Sexy, I am married to my husband, but we want to get his paperwork going. Yes, I'm a US citizen. So yes, you can go ahead and do that. It really depends though on the circumstances of your spouse to determine what he qualifies for. If he qualifies to apply for the green card in the US. So for example, if he came and overstayed his visa, and he has nothing else that's going to render him inadmissible, then he can apply for the green card in the United States. However, if your spouse came in without permission, then that's going to be a different process. It doesn't disqualify him from qualifying for the green card, but since he came across the border without inspection, he'll have to apply for what's called a waiver, unlawful presence waiver, get forgiveness, and once that's approved, he can go to the country, his home country, and attend the interview without it being held against him. So it just depends on the circumstances of your husband. So Rand Hava, I am on conditional green card. My wife put false allegation of domestic violence. Okay, so that is definitely going to be a little more complicated. I would want to see what happened there with the domestic violence. For example, did it turn into an arrest? What happened there? So were you arrested for domestic violence, or did she submit documentation to the immigration service? But I would definitely have to get the full breadth of what happened to advise. You can give me a call at 561-405-4889 to go ahead and schedule a consultation. So you'll talk to the firm's receptionist, who will get you on my schedule, and then we can talk. So Stacy Sexy, he comes, he's on a student visa. So if he's on a student visa, then he can go from having that visa to having a green card, but it just depends on what's going on. Like, how does he qualify? I know, Stacy Sexy, is it that said you're a U.S. you're a U.S. citizen? So if yes, he would qualify to adjust status in the United States. Yes, he's on a student visa. Now, renewing the student visa, you'd want to complete the green card process before he renewed the student visa, because then as a student on a type of, so for example, F1 student visa, he has to show non-immigrant intent. But then upon going to renew it, if he has a pending adjustment of status application, then that may be a problem to get the student visa renewed. But then again, when you're applying for adjustment of status, he can stay here and wait for the process to finish, get a work permit, and he could not leave the country either once he started the adjustment of status process. So in a nutshell, give me a call and let's talk about what your all the circumstances are to make sure that you do it right, because this is general information I'm giving, and it's very hard to give specific advice on very limited information. So yes, I was arrested. So that is, and my case is in criminal court. I was victim of domestic violence by her in the past. So that is definitely going to be a more complex issue, and I suggest you definitely give me a call when it comes on to any criminal issues. Give me a call, because domestic violence is also considered a serious offense in immigration, and it can subject you to deportation. So I would want to discuss with you your case and provide proper legal advice. Child of God 187, it's nice to see you here. You're welcome, Stacy Sexy 8. So you, Randhava, you live in Brooklyn, New York. And that's fine. So I practice across the country, and I am able to advise on for example, how your criminal case is going to affect your immigration status and possible solutions to that. And I am fully prepared and experienced to advise on that, but I would need to speak with you about the specific facts, especially since you're on conditional. And if you're on conditional, you also have to renew. And that is going to, if the domestic violence charges, there's a conviction, or in the case that you have to renew, you do go ahead and renew, it's going to definitely be an issue. So you want to be prepared for it. So Ranhapa, I'm not in New York, I'm in Boca Raton, Florida, but I represent clients all over the country. So Sexy Tommy 1, so there is news, but unfortunately it wouldn't apply to you. Lifted the green card ban. So there was a blanket green card ban on basically everybody except for certain immigrants, like certain relatives of U.S. citizens, the spouse and the child. He lifted that ban, and so we're going to start seeing the wheels turning again on family immigration, diversity visas, diversity green cards. So it is an exciting time, and that's exciting news, and it once again shows the direction of the Biden administration in helping immigrants, families to become reunited, and pushing a progressive immigration policy forward. Hi, one user 6. No, so no, Sexy Tommy. It would not apply to you, because you don't have a pending green card application, so it wouldn't apply to you right now. So thank you for your questions. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so thank you for your questions. If you have an issue that you would like to discuss with me personally in a consultation, give me a call at 561-405-4889. The receptionist at the firm will put you on my calendar and we can talk about your particular issues. You can go ahead and follow me. So thank you for those of you who followed me. Hi there, Cheryl. It's nice to see you and thank you for the compliment. Ranhava, you're welcome. So go ahead and follow me, and when I hop on, you'll see I usually come on around this time. Sometimes it goes between 7 and 10 that I'm on. But instead of the guessing game, you can get noticed when I go live. So by following me. So go ahead and do that. And if I missed your question, just hang on to it. When you see me, you can hop on and ask your question again. In the meantime, have a good night, everyone. Thanks for joining me. I really enjoy engaging with you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night, guys. Bye.